My name is Anne Granger, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the beautiful town of Dorchester, Ontario, Canada. And I'm excited to be with you tonight. I'm popping on a few minutes, just a few minutes after 7, so I can find myself here on my device. I hope you've had a great day. I was supposed to go live yesterday, and man, I don't know about you guys, but this year, this spring has been like the allergies are just like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just not been good. Anyways, I am feeling a bit better today, so I thought I would go live and come to you tonight. Tonight, we are focusing on the All of Flutter bundle. Um, which I'm super excited to share with you guys. It is one that is actually in our new May to August catalog. So tonight I'm going to share with you a bunch of samples, some tips and tricks. And I just realized I spelt the tips wrong in the thing. So let me fix that and then we will get started. I hope you've had a great day. Here in Southwest, it has been a very hot and humid day. We are sitting with the humidity. I'm not sure where you guys are, but we tend to get a lot of humidity in this time of year. And we were sitting, I think it was the temperature was like 35 with humidity. Yeah, it's supposed to be hot. So on days like this when it's hot, I enjoy I enjoy being in my craft room. Just a minute here. I'm just typing. All right, so I am good. I can see everything. So, anyways, so tonight I am showcasing the Olive Flutter bundle. When I first saw this bundle in the catalog, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. I'm just making sure my camera is straight. Yeah. I think we're good. I really was like, I love butterflies. I think they're so beautiful. I love when I'm sitting outside and they flutter in the garden and they're just so beautiful in all the different color combinations. So when I saw this bundle, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. I'm grateful for my team member Tammy. She let me borrow hers because I hadn't ordered one yet. And I was like, I really want to show this. So she's like, you can borrow mine. The one thing about I love about this, it's actually a punch. Um, don't get me wrong, I have been stamping for like 19 years and I love my dies and I love my Stampin' Cut and Boss machine, but I have to tell you there's something about a punch and stamps. It just makes crafting so much easier. And if you're new to Stampin' Up or new to the world of paper crafting or card making, punches are the way to go because they're really, really nice. So tonight I am going to share with you the Olive Flutter bundle. I'm going to show you some paper. I have a bunch of samples. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks of ways I've learned when I was creating with this. And then I'm going to share some we're going to create 2 cards. So a little variety for you. I've really come to learn from just watching other people that I feel like if you show different ways to use products, people are going to love that product more. I don't know about you, but I could look at a product in a catalog and be like, oh, I don't need that. And then my Stampin' Up! Friends across the globe will show me samples, and I was like, okay, I'm hooked. I need to have that. So let's dive in. Let me show you where you can find this bundle first. Let me just here. So this is our new catalog. This is our May to August. If you're new to Stampin' Up! Prints does 3 prints a year. If you've been familiar with Stampin' Up, then you know that in the past we've had 1 annual catalog. Stampin' Up is changing that in 2026. We're going to 3 catalogs a year. So May to August, September to December, January to April. I'm super excited. It's 87 pages and I absolutely love it. The layout of this catalog is beautiful. So we're going to go to the bundles and I'm going to show you. Here's the bundle page. I'm just going to show you where you can find this stamp set. So here on page 42 is where you're going to find this stamp set. And I think it might, yeah, okay. Right here. So you'll notice that you can, if you're like, oh, I really want to see what that looks like closer up, you can turn to page 52 and you will see the stamp set in a bigger view. And then if you wanted the punch, you can go to page 61 and you would be able to see the punch there in a bigger view also. So I really liked how Stampin' Up! Has done this. They show you how things are together as a set, but then as individual. I really, really, truly love this catalog. I find things are so much easier to find. So let me show you, before I start, I wanted to share with you, if you're anywhere in the globe, Stampin' Up! Is offering a 3-day shipping special, like a flash shipping. So anything here in Canada, if you place an order of 100 or more from June 11th to June 13th, you are going to get, you're going to say free shipping, which is huge. So this is a great time for you to think about, if you were planning on placing an order, check your cardstock, check your adhesive. Maybe there's a bundle. Um, maybe there's like a suite that you wanted. So this is a great way to stock up on those favorites. Maybe, just go through your stock and see what you need. And don't forget that 100 or more here in Canada will also get you the product of the month, which is the adorable Wild Bunch stamp set. So, so cute. And you can add that to your cart for $7 more. All right, so let's dive in. I'm going to show you the bundle. I'm going to show you the paper, and then we're going to dive into the samples. So, as I said, all the Flutter bundle comes with the stamp set. I love that there's a solid, but then two decorative. I love the greetings of fluttering by to say hi. And you could do like friend, fluttering by to say hi, or friend, fluttering by to say hi. You're so appreciated and thinking of you today. This is our new Stampin' Up! Packaging from Stampin' Up! These are our photopolymer, so Stampin' Up! Has switched solely to photopolymer, no more red rubber. I actually like it because you can see, and I just have them sitting on a basket so I can flip through them. They're definitely thinner. And then obviously we have the punch. You know that I love to pair my product of the week, so whether it's a stamp set, a bundle, with some type of designer series paper. And I actually got the paper Melody 12 by 12 as a gift from Onstage, which was in Long Beach. I did not attend Long Beach, but one of my friends picked up my package. I was supposed to go, but I chose to go see my daughter instead. So I couldn't do both. Maybe if I was retired, I could do both. But anyways, I love this. It's kind of one of those paper packs that is hidden in the catalog, but really, really nice. You got basic beige, basic black, clips of coral, darling duck, Hygenian huge, misty moonlight, peaceful pine, petal pink, and pretty peacock are the colors. Really, really nice color palette. I am loving the black and white. Hopefully I don't get into a coughing fit. Let me just get there for a minute. All right. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. Sorry, people. All right, so here's card number one. I might need to go grab a Halls here. Card number two. Give me a quick minute. Ugh. Why is it when you're always start to get on camera is when you start coughing? Okay, so I'm going to share the samples with you that we're going to create, that I created with this. I'll show you them a little bit more in depth, but I'm going to lay them all out, and then I will share with you some tips and tricks, and then we'll create two cards. So, what I've been loving is I love just to sit in my craft room and create. It's been fun just playing, like just picking, playing, and looking at picking like a technique or picking like a fancy fold. I'm truly just having fun with that, and I think that is where the inspiration and the creativity comes, is when you can just play. So these are the cards that I created with this set using the paper Melody 12 by 12. When I was looking online, I always like to look online for samples, see what other people have done. I noticed that a lot of people were using the new 2026, 2028 in color. So I really wanted to think outside the box to show you other ways that you can do it. So this card, just really quick and simple. You can be fluttering by to say hi, and then you can say friend inside. Basic white, basic black. There's that pattern paper, the Medley. I love the black and white. Spotlight on nature dies. Remember I showed you last week, or if you follow me on my videos, you know that I'm a huge fan of, oh, I forgot my light. That's what I forgot. Maybe I should go plug that in for us. Is the Spotlight on Nature dies. I've actually got a lot of nice light from my window. Um, I think I'm gonna leave it just because it's like, see, maybe, yeah. For now, I'm not gonna touch it. So this is one of the samples, really, really fun. This one, I saw a sketch and I thought, how fun was that? Just, I thought this could be like a cute little baby card too, right? But maybe you just wanted to thank someone and tell them how much you appreciate them. So I brought in the stylish shape dies. So here are the dies for that. If you know I'm a huge fan of the stitch dies. So definitely love these, and I definitely love the Spotlight on Nature. They're probably the top two dies I do use in my craft room. Like they should honestly just stay on my desk because I tend to use them a lot. But I wanted to show you on here was, you're probably thinking, well, Anne, where did you get that ribbon? You're right. That ribbon is actually our Hydrangea Hues, which is our new ribbon right here. And it is beautiful, but it was too thick for my project. So what I did was I took my scissors and just cut. So what I ended up getting was two pieces that looked like this, that were very thin. And the neat thing about it was very easy to create your bows and go like that. So don't be afraid to cut your ribbon into smaller whips if um you're looking for that not so bulky, like, I'll just show you the difference. So here is a ribbon made with the full-on ribbon, the way that it was meant to be. So as you can see, there's that ribbon, but then look how nice and dainty, small and dainty that looks compared to that. So don't be afraid to cut. And like I said, all I really did was I just took my scissors. Now I use ribbon scissors, and I literally just cut up the middle. So I was able to make my ribbon bow here, and then I have this extra piece to use. If you follow me, you know how I store my ribbon, but in case you don't, you're new to my channel, welcome. I use these binder clips. These actually came in a kit that Stampin' Up sold long time ago, and I must have put them in a bag. And last year when I was cleaning out, I was like, oh, these are great. I actually learned this tip, I believe, from my friend Patty Bennett. But I put a binder clip to hold the end, and when they sit on my shelf, I know exactly where my ribbon is, and it's not like the leaf ends are not everywhere. So that is a really good um, tip for storage. All right, so then I have this ribbon to use later. All right, so we talked about that one. And this one was actually a sketch that I got from Jackie Bohais. She is Clomper Stamper in the US. I really liked the sketch. And now her sketch, you could have it this way or you could have it this way. I thought I would do it this way. And I challenged myself just to use the pattern paper. This paper is, I did like a card front for my paper. I brought in those soft little flowers, and then I did the leaves, and then I did stylish shapes and the Spotlight on Nature. Brought in my little butterfly, did friend, and then I added in the pearls. Now, if you follow me on social media, you might have seen last night that I did a poll of this and that. Do you like the in color dots or the in color butterflies? And a lot of people said they like the dots, but then there was definitely people who loved the butterflies. I just think the dots are more versatile. You can use them for a lot of things. Where the butterfly, you might want to add them to some like beautiful flowers. Um, so I did use these. So these are the crisp cantaloupe. These are in our 5 in colors. So peaceful pine, hydrangea hues, crisp cantaloupe. Um, I want to say garden glow. That's not it. Golden glow and barely, I want to say banana. Barely brush. These are now, sadly, these are not available right now in our online store, but they are due back in the next few weeks. All right, bear with me here. All right. The next card I wanted to make was just, I love this hydrangea hues color. Next week, I should show you the water bottle that I bought when I was in Salt Lake City with my daughter visiting her. We went to Target. Who doesn't love Target? I found this water bottle. It's the Owa water bottles, I think, and I really liked the color. My daughter's like, "No, mom, you should get this color." She was showing me like all these funky colors, and I was like, "No, no, I really like this color." And she's like, "No, mom, you should get this orange one or this green one or this tan one." And I was like, "No, I really like this." So when we got back, I bought it. When I got back to her place, I was like looking and I'm like, that color is our new, looks like our new Hydranian Hues color that we have for in color. So I'm so proud to like I'm excited to see that Stampin' Up is on trend with colors in the color family in the world. Absolutely love it. I'll show it to you next week. I'm gonna show you a tip on the butterflies, but very simple card. Fluttering by to say hi. You could do this layout for anything. You could use this as a Christmas card, a birthday card, a thank you card. Like sometimes when I go to create cards, I will go look at what other people do. Plus, I will also look to see for sketches, and sometimes I go back and case myself because that's where your creativity is there. Why not go back and do that? This one, I think this was the first one I started with. I just used what I did was I brought in the sunflower 3D embossing folder. This one has been very, very popular. It came out last year in one of our online exclusives, and I tell you, it's still hot. Like people are buying it, it sells out. We order more, it sells out. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip. This there is coming up in the new September. I think it's the new September catalog. People who were on the you might have seen it if you follow a lot of demonstrators. We're showcasing some products of sneak peeks, and there's a new sunflower paper coming out. So this would really coordinate. I was thinking after I'd done this would have been really nice if I used a two-tone Hydranian Hues paper. Then I could have sanded it a little bit to give you that tone. I used the dotted mats. These are the matted ones, and I just did random butterflies and fluttering by to say hi. So super cute. And it was inspired by a girl named Tracy Bradley on Pinterest. She had done a different layout and I really liked it. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to showcase how to make. We're going to learn the rock and roll technique, and then I'm going to show you this one, which is really cool. So we're going to do that one here in a minute. And then I'm going to show you this fancy fold right here. And we're going to create that one tonight. So those are the two cards. But before I do that, I wanted to share with you a couple tips using punches. Especially when you have punches are like this, that are meant for you to line things up. It is sometimes put your hand up or be like, yeah, I've done that, Anne. How many times have you stamped your image, go to punch it out, and it doesn't line up? Trust me, I do it all the time. So what I created was an Olive Flutter punch template. This is something that you could do. You could either put it in your drawer or even put it with like on the in the back of this. Then you know you always have it. The idea is it will help you line up your stamps. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So first, let's grab a stamp set. All right, so I want to punch and I want to make sure that my punch lines up with my stamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my template down. So here's my template. Here's my cardstock. Here is my little adhesive. Actually, you could do it a couple ways. You could do it this way. Put your block down, pick it up. Sometimes now it's going to stick because I'm using my, yeah, we'll do that. It's sticking because it's using my glass. So let's just use here. I'm going to put that down. There we go. Okay. I've just put it on my block, and you can see that when I put it on my block and I put it into my template, I know that I am lined up where I need to be. Now, if that was not lined up, say it was like, I'm going to show you a different way, like this, when I go to stamp my images, my punch isn't going to line up, and that is very frustrating. So I'm just going to kind of line this back up again. We'll check it. Yep, looks good. Okay, so let's show you. This is the new Hydranian Hues in color. It is one of our new magnetic blocks, which is beautiful. These things, oh my God, they're a game changer. If you're a person who struggles opening our old ink pads, you're going to love these. Let's just do a little bit of a comparison. These are our old ink pads. These are the new ones. Our magnetic ink pads only come right now in 2026 in the 5 in colors. So Hydrangea Hues, Peaceful Pine, Crisp Cantaloupe, um, Garden, no, not Garden Glow, Golden Glow, and Barely Blush. That is the colors. So a lot of people, you can see it is a little wider, um, same thick, but a lot of people struggle opening, like that is even hard for me. Like I'm struggling to open that. But with our new ink pads, you just open them like this. They're magnetic, they go like that. The only way you can get these ink pads is with the 5 new ink colors. But Stampin' Up! Has already shared with us that in 2027, they are doing a revamp of all the colors and they will have the new ink pads in all the colors then. So I'm super excited. All right, so let's open this up. I do use so on the back of these, they come with 4 labels, obviously in the different languages. I used the one for Hydrangea Hues and I put it here. And then they have another one, and a great tip they shared with us at On Stage was to put it on top, because if you have a lot of them laid out, you're not going to have the you might have multiple colors out and you don't want to stick your blue and their pink and vice versa. All right. With our old ink pads, you would have tap, tap, tap. With our new felt foams, I find if you just do like a bit of a swoosh, it's really, really good. All right. I am going to stamp, and we're just going to make sure I'm in the camera here. Can you see me? Make sure. I really think I need a bigger space. Okay. There we go. All right. And we're going to stamp. I'll smooth this up a bit. We're going to stamp right here. Oh, that's too much. I should have stamped off. Let's just stamp off. All right. Let's try this again. I do find with the new ink pads, you can tap lightly. Swooshing is better, but you might just have to play around with it in stamp singing. That's a lot of ink. This is better. Let's move this out of my way. Let's close this up. Look at this, like, oh, it's actually sticking to my magnetic thing. Isn't that interesting? Okay, and I'm going to show you. I should be exactly where I want to be for this punch. Let's hope that it works. And we will bring our punch in, and we're pretty. I might just have to trim off a little bit here. Sometimes. Oh yeah, look at that. We're perfect. So you can see how that really made a difference of punching and stamping. Just helps you see where you're going. So all Flutter template is where you want to be. That's a really good tip. And like I said, I'll probably just store it in my container, like in my pouch. Another thing I wanted to show you. Let me just find here. I just need a piece of paper big enough. Let me see. Oh, this one might work. I have scraps in my desk. Okay, let's bring this back in here. I wanted to show you how you can stamp an image and then stamp off to give you that tone. And then we're going to create our cards. So on here, when I was playing around with it, I kind of stamped. So if I stamped this image first, I would definitely have wanted to stamp off to give it a softer tone and then put your detail over top. I found when I did the solid first, then the detail, it was harder to line up. So I'm going to show you the tip of doing the detail first and then lining up your solid. So let's bring in another punch. Now we're just going to stamp these. We're not necessarily going to punch them out. So let's bring in that color again. I'm just going to lightly tap this. And we're going to stamp. I've been really noticing with the photo palmers lately, you do want to have that paper piercer mat underneath you. Just helps give you that solid image. So this is our paper piercer mat. This is what it looks like when you get it. I've just kind of put like a piece of grid to protect it. And sometimes I'll bring even in an extra little grid just to help. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a softer tone on this. You're going to tap. And you're going to stamp off once, stamp off twice, and then go over top. And when you do that, get that nice soft tone behind your butterflies. You could do that with any color. I just found the real reason I do it this way is I found that it was easier to line it up after it was done. And I liked how the softer tones showed through the more darker ink. So that was just a really great tip of showing you how to do that. You can even see that's the same color, how different they look there to there. So that was just another fun little tip I wanted to share with you. All right, so let's start creating. The first card we're going to do is a rock and roll technique. I'm sure if you've been around, if you're a card maker or a paper crafter, you have seen this technique done. I thought it would be fun to share with you. It's one of those ones you forget. All right, we are using basic beige, and my base is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. And let's bring in my bone folder, which I should order a new one because they're so sticky. Actually, I should clean it off. One of my team members told me to use rubbing alcohol. I should do that and see what you done. All right, I have a 4 by 5.25 piece of crisp cantaloupe. That is one of our new in colors. Isn't that a beautiful color? And I have 2 pieces of designer series paper. So what I did was I cut this to be 3 3/4 by 5. And then I cut it at like 1 7/8 to give me that 2 different tones. This is actually the same paper, so I just used the reverse side for one. So let's go ahead and put this down. Let me just move this off to the side here. I love the wood grain. I think it's such a fun pattern. Reminds me of the country woods wood grain. When that paper's still available. Oh, I should have moved this over a little bit here. Let me see if I can bring this up a bit. Oh yeah, there we go. All right. Oops. Don't put adhesive down on your thing in and then it gets stuck. Oh my goodness. Do you ever do that? Crazy. All right. We can go ahead and adhere this to our carapace. I am using our Stampin' Seal. I am a seal girl, tape runner girl, more than a glue girl. I do use glue, but I don't like it when I get it on my hands. All right, I have a piece of crisp cantaloupe, and I believe it is 3 by 4. Then I have a basic white, and it is 3 3/4 by 2. Sorry, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So before we do anything, we're gonna do a little bit of stamping. So let's bring in the stamp that says "Thinking of You." Kind of actually know who I'm going to send these cards to. I have to really get in the habit of making a card and sending a card. What about you guys? I should put out a challenge. Oh, look at that. I just stuck my hand in my ink. My ink, black ink. All right, I am using Memento ink. Stampin' Up! No longer carries Memento ink, but I'm sure a lot of you have this in your crafting room. I am waiting on the new black hybrid ink pad to show up. So once for now, I'm going to use this. I do love my black ink pad. So if use what you have, right? Just use what you have. All right. So then what I want to do next is I wanted, you can tell, and I'll just make sure my hands are in the background. I wanted like a little subtle, um, like not sky, but like little, oh my gosh, that is not sticky. Like a little subtle, that looks like the butterflies were in the sky. I cannot speak tonight. Oh my God, it's Anne's language. Bear with me. This is what makes it fun. Okay, we are using Pool Party and a blending brush. Our blending brushes come in 2 sizes. There is large and small. I have to admit, I actually kind of like the small better. I feel I have more control over it, and I'm going to show you why. When I go to blend, I like to use my finger to lay on top, like just to hold on top. That helps me blend. I find this a little awkward where I find the smaller blending brushes work a little easier. But I already had this color in Pool Party, so I was like, I'm not going to get another one. I have it. Another tip I do is I label it with my label maker. I have a Dymo label maker and I just label it so I know that it's pool party and I can always use it. So when you're using your blending brushes, you want to pick up the ink and rub it around. And then you don't want to daub it because you're going to get this. That's not what we want. We want to blend softly and then blend it onto the paper. It's actually easier, and I pretty went a little darker than I wanted, but that's okay. It's actually easier to go lighter than darker. So you can see I had a softer tone on this one. That's okay. I'm gonna try to keep blending it. Might just kind of maybe soften it up. It might not. Might be too dark. All right, we'll go with it. That way you guys can see the difference of what that looks like. Let me just put this here. All right, let me put this away over here and we'll bring this off. I don't know. I think that's too dark. Let's see what it looks like on here. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like the soft or the dark? I think it's too dark. I think I need to get another piece to press. Well, let me get a piece. I just think it's too dark. Let's try that again. Let's cut this here. I just think it's like a big blob. I guess I wanted to show you not what to do, right? That's what I want to do. I wanted to show you not what to do. All right, let's try this again. Let's bring this back in. I feel like there's a softer tone on here. Let's just do some soft. Oh yeah, like that's better. So you really want to make sure your blending brush does not have a lot of ink. Like look at the difference of that to that. Like that looks a lot better. I'm glad we switched it up. So let's bring back in that stamp. And then we're going to do some rock and rolling. All right, let's just bring in this quickly. All right. Cover that up. So I don't do it. Okay, so we're done with that. We can go ahead and adhere this down. And we can actually, oh, is that crooked? Nope, sure. Okay. I'm bringing in my dimensionals. These are a must in your craft room. So I'm going to give you a little tip. When you run out of your dimensionals, don't throw these away. You can cut the edges and you have any pieces that you want in any size. I cannot believe that we are like June is almost like we're coming into the middle of June. So crazy. All right, so we're ready. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in some paper and create our butterflies. So let's bring this back in. Let's get our butterflies. Let me see. Is this the one I used or did I use the other ones? I think this is the one I used. I have to look at the butterflies. I think this is the one I used. Okay. So what I did was we're going to stamp and crisp cantaloupe. So just like I told, remind you, crisp cantaloupe is one of our new in colors. Just tap, tap, tap lightly. Let's close that up. And we're going to bring in clips of coral. So when I kind of looked to see what colors were pairing, clips of coral was a nice contrast color to the crisp cantaloupe. Now we're going to do what is called the rock and roll. You're going to take your stamp set. So you're going to start with a lighter color, go into your darker color. It's not your ink will go onto your ink pad, but it's not going to make a big of a difference. You're going to take your block and you're going to roll it to give to create. So if you look here on my butterflies, you can see that like some areas are a little darker and other areas are lighter. So we're going to create that rock and roll. So what you're going to do is you're just going to put your stamp, your block on your ink pad, and you're just going to literally roll it. Now, hopefully I didn't get too much. We'll see. Let's see how that looks. Oh, look at that. So when you do that rock and roll technique, you get the different colors. So that's beautiful. So you have like that camouflage, not camouflage, is that the word I'm looking for? You have like beautiful colors to showcase. Two-tone, not two-tone. That's not what I'm looking for. If someone can help me with what I'm looking for, that would be great. All right, so I'm gonna have to cut a little bit off here. I think I'm a little over on my thing. And oh, that's perfect. Lines up. So we're going to line it up. Now, when you're punching, here's a tip. If I was to punch like this, I would not know where I am on my stamps. And majority of the time, you're going to punch out the image you just stamped. Flip it towards you, hold it. Oh, I didn't have it there. I didn't hold it properly. Hold it. Oh, no, I'm a little off. And punch. So punch here is where you want to punch, and then you'll get that image. All right. We have our beautiful butterflies. So let's just kind of give them some bent wings so they can fly. And I am going to use a dimensional. So let's put a dimensional on the back here. And we're just going to hear them down. I got another one here. And we're going to hear this one over here. And we'll put this little one over down at the bottom. I might need actually a smaller little dimensional. So I am using our mini dots. And as you can see, I've used the inside. So now I'm just using the outside. Like I said, just cut that little piece. And there you go. There is your rock and roll technique featuring the Olive Flutter Bundle stamp set. Isn't that cool? Such a cool way. I think these are pretty cards. All right, so our last card I want to share with you is a fancy fold card. As I was sharing with you last week, I have I actually can show it to you. I have this little basket. I just picked it up at a local store. And what I've done is I've created all these templates. So when I'm thinking of sitting down and being like, oh, like what kind of fancy fold do I want to make? I can just flip through here. I don't have to go search the internet. Because let me tell you, if you go search Pinterest, you go down a rabbit hole and you're there for 3 hours and you come back and you're like, what was I creating? So I create these templates. So just a reminder, this is a card we're going to make. I'm going to show you how to make this. And then here is the template. So I just used old cardstock, old pattern paper, made it. I wrote the measurements on the back, and then I wrote so when I pull this out, this is all I really need to see. I will put this up on my blog so you guys can see it. So make sure you follow me over on www.stampwithanne. The blog is the hub of my business, and this is where you will find all of our projects. All right. I have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That is our base. This will be the inside for our pieces. This is just for me to cut. I have two pieces that are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Then I have two whites, basic whites that are 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And I have this piece of DSP and it is 12 by 5 1/2. Now, we're going to bring in our paper trimmer. So this is the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. And we're going to do some scoring. So we're going to put our paper a long ways. So that is the 12-inch width. And we are going to score it at 2 inches. So when you're scoring with a Stampin' Up! Trimmer, you want to make sure you're using the light blade, light gray, not the dark gray. So we're going to score at 2. We're going to score at 4. We're going to score at 6. And we're going to score at 8. All right. So let's move this out of our way. Now I'm just going to move these pieces out of our way. So what we're going to do, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see this is my first score line. So we're going to score like this. And I'm going to just go down like that. And then we're going to score this one. And we're going to go like that. So we're kind of doing like an accordion fold here and then here. All right, so that just, and you want to crease it. It just makes like that nice crease image. We're going to take our big piece and we're going to tape it down. So we're just going to go like this. Make sure it's nice and centered. All right. This is where you can write your measurements. So you're just going to put that in. So this one is 3 3/4 by 5. So let's go ahead and write that down. Or sorry, I hear that down. As I said, I will put this one up on my blog. It'll probably be up on the weekend, and I will share the measurements for this fancy fold so you can go back to it. All right, so now when you see that you open it up, these two pieces are going to line up together. But before we do that, we have a little bit of work to do. So let's do the stamping on the first one. On the first one, I said, let it fluttering by to say hi. I thought that was a cute one. This could be, you could send this to a friend maybe you haven't seen in a while. Or you just want to let that person know you're thinking of them. I think everyone needs a little card in the mail these days to brighten their world. We're going to bring back in that Memento ink and we're going to stamp. And I'm going to say fluttering by to say hi. So that's our first one. All right, so I'm just going to put this down here. Oh, I think need that one in a minute. All right, my second one. So we can go ahead and glue here this down to our black. Okay. Oh, is that straight? That's going to be straight now. Yep, it's going to work. All right, so on this one, we stamp the word friend. So let's bring in the word friend. And we're going to stamp that in black. So I am using Memento ink. You can use whatever ink you had. Secret C is also a nice choice for a black. Okay, and we're just going to stamp it down there. Nice friend. Now on this one, I used cardstock because I thought, well, let's just show you a different way of using the stamp set. Because before I stamped my images, then punched them out. This one I kind of did just the blue. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the softer tone behind because that's what I tried to do in my first one, but you can't really see it. So let's bring that in. Let's grab this and I'm going to grab that hydrangea hues color again. So we're just going to ink it up and let's bring in that scrap piece of paper. Where did you go? Oh, it was right here. And I'm going to stamp off just a few times. Oh, that didn't really pick up. All right. So let's just move this up here. And we're going to stamp down here in the corner. So I have that softer tone behind. Oh, I need some more. I would love to know, are you a card maker? Do you or are you a scrapbooker? Do you make time for yourself throughout the week to come into your place? This is my happy place. You can find me in here most nights. My job some days can be very tiring, and I love coming in here and playing music and spending time and truly just truly, oh, I love it. It's just like so good for the soul. Okay, so I've stamped the lighter image. I'm going to go over with that darker image. And remember, this is the one I've used, so I know my stamps are going to line up with my punch. I'm a little off, but that's okay. As a little punch out, you won't see it. Now, where's my punch? So let's bring in that punch. I can't tell you how many times I might just need to trim off a little bit. I would punch an image and it would not line up. I don't know how many times I tried and wasted paper. And someone shared this tip with me and I was like, why am I not doing that? That is a great idea. So now I do that. So much easier than what I was doing before. All right, so let's put this over here to the side. I'm gonna put it up there. My block. Sometimes I need a bigger desk. All right, so let's go ahead and adhere this down. And we are going to pop up these dots. So let's bring in some little dimensionals. Do I have dimensionals that are okay? Let's just continue using these ones. Wasn't sure if I had dimensionals that were just gonna. So as you can see, you can cut up any size you want here. You can even make them like foams. That would be nice too. All right, so let's go ahead and put our little butterflies. Now, if you bend the wings, it'll look like they're flying through the air. I would love to know, is this something that you looked at, or maybe I've inspired you to maybe add it to your cart, to your collection? Maybe you have it and you haven't really played with it. May I hope that I've inspired you to pull it off your shelf and create with it. I have to tell you that when I first was a demonstrator, I would order and I would set my stuff on my shelf. And then I'm just gonna grab a break here. And then the retiring list would come out and I never used them. I was like, this is a brand new set. What am I doing? So then I started putting them into a basket. They can't go on my shelf until I use them at least in a product of the week or created with them. And I need to make at least 5 samples to share. All right, so when we go to put these down, we want to make sure that we line them up so that when the person opens them, they flow. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take this one first and flip it down. Okay, and you can see I kind of gone in the middle. And what we're going to do is we're just going to line this one up. So kind of where I want it. I think that looks pretty good. So we are going to just make sure this is straight. And we're going to put adhesive. Make sure you guys see here. I'll bring it up. You're going to put adhesive on this side. And we're going to make sure we're straight. And adhere it down. So now when we do that, it opens. You want to make sure that you put your wording facing down so you don't adhere it the wrong way. Now we're going to do is we're going to line this side up. So we know that we need to put tape on this side because this is the side that's going to stick to our pattern paper. Let's just go ahead and line those up, stick that down. So now when we open it, isn't that how fun is that? It's like an interactive card that just keeps giving and giving. I don't know about you, but imagine the person, just imagine you send this to a friend, they go to their mailbox, you know, there's flyers, there's bills. They see this little white envelope and they open it and they're like, "Oh, friend." And then they do this, fluttering by to say hi. You could write a little message. You could stick like a little Post-it note. And then guess what? They're going to do this. They're just going to sit there and do this. And then you know where they're going to post this? Put this on their counter, on their mantle, on a shelf, because that is where our cards are stored, is on a mantle. All right. Let's bring in those little dots. Where did I put them? Right here. And then we're all done. And I'll bring you back in the samples to share. So I always ask when I do classes, what was your favorite one? I always love to know. Okay, so these are the in color dots, and we're going to pick them up. And I would love to know, we're going to call this sample B, and this one will be sample A. Do you like the sample A where I did the cardstock, so I stamped on the cardstock, or do you like sample B where I stamped on the white and did like the softer tone, the darker tone? I would love to know. So if you're watching on the replay, please let me know. And I do go back and I respond. All right, so there is our crafty session video featuring the Aflutter Bundle, which is a stamp set and dies. Let's pull back in the cards and show you what we've created. And then that way, I hope I have inspired you. And I'm going to pull this just up a little bit here to either pull out this card, this bundle, and create with it, or you know what? Maybe you're like, and I really like that bundle. Maybe you're going to go head over to the shopping store and purchase it, the online store. All right, so just a few recaps. We use the Aflutter. Let's just pull this in here. It's kind of, we use the Aflutter Bundle, which is the stamp set and die. So you can purchase it as a bundle, and if you do, you save 10%. or you can buy just the stamp set or just the punch, but kind of want both of them. They're meant to be with each other. Then from today, which is June 11th, so today is Thursday, June 11th to Saturday, June 13th, 2026. So in case you're watching this past that date, is free shipping. So if you're here in Canada and order over $100, you're going to get free shipping. Hey, you want to add this bundle? I think the bundle's 57.50. You can add a few more items to get yourself to 100. Add in, don't forget to add in that cute little product of the month, which is the Wild Bunch stamp set. It's, oh my gosh, so adorable. And then you can sit and create. The summer months are coming. I know they're very busy. Some people travel, some people go to cottages. You can always take your crafting with you. And I don't know about you, but when it's hot outside and humid, I like to be inside in my craft room. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Once this video is processed and uploaded, I will add this to my blog. Make sure you go over to my blog, bookmark it. I've already shared some projects and I'll share a few more before the week is out. And I will put the measurements for this card with the link to the video. Um, I would love if you please just let me know what your thoughts are. I will, just say hi, chat with me. I said I used to do this weekly and then I got really sick and I'm slowly building back up. So thank you so much for joining me tonight, or today, tonight, wherever you're watching. And I will be back next week. June's gonna be a little over, like, I'm not sure what day yet. Usually I do Wednesday nights. But once I do my email Monday morning to let you know what a product of the week, I'll let you know what time we're doing it. So if you want to know what's happening in my studio, head over to my blog, www.stampwithanne.com. A pop-up will come. You can sign up for my emails, and you will be the first ones to find out what is happening in my studio, as in which product of the week I'm going to focus on first. Plus, on Sunday, I do a recap email and I send you an email with links to the videos and to some projects we've done. So it's kind of like a one-stop viewing for you. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you guys real soon. Bye for now.